The wildest thing that's ever happened in my insurance agency was probably I had a client that basically had a total loss, and this literally just happened 4 months ago. Water flooded his entire house, and come to find out, he lives in the neighborhood outside my agency's window, literally where my office is at. So he was here inside the agency about every day for the next like 90 days, threatening to kill me.
What?
At this point, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I should just transfer him out of the book, or I didn't know who to talk to, because at the time that there was nobody in claims I could talk to. It got to the point where he started scaring the staff. So I didn't know what to do. I just had to put my foot down and make sure he knows he can't talk to us that way, and that he needs to leave. And he came back with a whole different attitude. And pretty sure to this date, his claim still isn't closed. He's not happy. But yeah, I don't know. That's probably the craziest thing. My name's Eric Mangano, agency owner with the Mangano Collective in Lafayette, Indiana, and I'm an insurance dude.
Insurance dudes are on a mission to escape being handcuffed by our agencies.
How? By uncovering the secrets to creating a predictable, consistent, and profitable agency sales machine.
I am Craig Pretzinger.
I am Jason Feldman.
We are agents.
We are insurance dudes.
Right now, while it's fresh in your mind, check out live.teledudes.com.
We took our notes from over 100 interviews with top agents from around the country and made it into a live webcast.
Using these strategies led Craig and I to selling more than $10 million in premium in the last 2 years.
On this call, you'll receive the exact blueprint to get the same results.
Just go to live.teledudes.com to register for this upcoming Tuesday's live call with us.
If you jump on this call with us, we're certain 2022 will be an absolutely fantastic year for you.
See you there.
Woo! Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's terrifying. So the dude's house is right outside. Like you guys can see it from your front windows.
Literally the window behind me, like straight across the field. Like
so he just
see his. Yeah.
You didn't take the hose from your agency and put it in his window or anything, did you?
No. You would have thought I did.
The way he was acting. Yeah.
It's a funny thing. It's a funny thing when people make claims. It somehow becomes your guys, like the agency's fault sometimes, right?
Yeah.
They take it out on you. And yeah, that was an interesting event for sure.
That's insane. I can't believe that. And he just, for months, just harassed you guys?
Yeah. Yeah, and I just saw him like 2 weeks ago. I thought everything was taken care of. And, he was coming in. I had the door closed. I was on the phone with a client. And I've got windows. And he's like slapping papers on the window. And I got my CSR sits right outside my window. And I was like telling him to hold on. And after I got off the call, he came in and he threw the papers on my desk, and his premium's going up at renewal, and he wanted to cancel. And I said, "Well, who's down the street? You can go see him." And he ended up staying with us. So I'm sure he'll be back in.
You're like, "Oh, great, he stayed."
Yeah,
the one save that you kind of don't necessarily.
We had one of those. That I inherited from the previous agency owner. Just claims up the wazoo, harassment, lawyers involved. And it's like stuff that we didn't even do. And it's like constantly like, please do not sign up with us. Like, don't like you're right. It's not right. It's not right. Like this, this relationship isn't working out, whatever. And then she kept coming back. And then eventually she canceled. And then months later trying to come back. Like she's never gone. It's like, what is with these people?
It's like the ultimate takeaway. Like you're passionate about this takeaway. Like you're not even, you're just saying no, But look at what happens with scarcity, right? Like you created the ultimate scarcity that now you don't want her to be part of your agency. And she's like, well, it must be good.
Yeah.
Right. There's something we have that other.
Right. Why will everybody else just quote me? This guy won't even take me.
That is scary though. The slapping the papers on the window. I mean, that's just, it's just too much.
And scowl on his face.
Yeah. And it's funny because he always would show up right when I'm trying to get out of the agency. And it's like, what do you do?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You just locked the door.
And it was, like you said, Jason, it was from the book I bought.
So much worse at that point because it's like, dude, I want nothing to do. Like, I'll literally pay you back to leave. I don't want your money. If anything, I'll pay you money to not be here.
Right. Exactly.
Well, dude, Eric, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today. Would love to dive in a little bit and hear the story of how you how you got into this world of insurance to begin with.
Yeah, so let's go back to 2013. I know everyone's pretty familiar with network marketing. I was in network marketing, and I got introduced to a company outside of the company that I was in. I was selling energy drinks here in Indiana with a group actually from the West Coast.
Which one?
Vima.
No way.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. I knew some people in the same circles. Yeah.
They were based at I think either Tucson or Scottsdale. But
crazy. Tucson.
Anyways, I at that point when you start, ranking up, I wasn't super high in the company or anything, but when you start ranking up, other companies start reaching out to you. And there was this one company out of Dayton, Ohio, that kind of introduced me to the insurance world. Never thought about insurance ever. It was for life insurance. It was like an MLM pyramid scheme. I don't know really what it was, but I started going to class. I was going to get my license, and I don't know what happened, but I just stopped talking to them, and I went along with my life. And 2017, I got laid off from a pharmaceutical company in Indianapolis, and it was like the first time in my life where I got, I was just like, I hit a brick wall. I didn't know what to do. Outside of network marketing and other jobs I've had, I've always had that entrepreneurship, mindset, and failed, different, ventures like clothing companies and just small things. And I knew it was either real estate or insurance. And why insurance was because my insurance agent was an Allstate agent. He had reached out to me earlier that year, right before I got laid off, and asked me if I wanted to buy his book of business. At the time, I'm like, what is he talking about? Which is crazy because the guy that owns that book of business now is actually a really good friend of mine. Yeah. And so anyways, I just went along about my life. I had picked up a job at GNC part-time to pay bills. I was making no money. And basically, I decided to go with the insurance. I went to an interview up in, what's weird about this story is I went to an interview with a life insurance company up here in West Lafayette. And to tell you where I'm from Brownsburg. It's a suburb outside of Indianapolis. I've never been to Lafayette, to be honest, at this point in my life. And I came up here and I sat through this 4-hour pyramid scheme kind of pitch. And I was so angry because I was like, at the time I had my first son. I just wanted things to get going. I was ready to hit the ground. I wanted to learn. And I sat through this thing and I was like, wow, I can't believe I did this again. And as I'm leaving, literally in the parking lot, I get a phone call from a recruiter from the company I represent now, and ended up spending the next hour drive home on the phone with him. And he told me this was about 5 years back that he had an agent that was one of the first agents opening a new agency in our area in quite some time. And, you know, he liked my resume and what he's heard about me. So he wanted to see if I was interested, and ended up getting a call from the guy that was opening the agency in Indianapolis, and didn't look back.
Nice.
Didn't look back.
Nice.
So,
You've been,
go ahead.
so I was sorry, just 5. So it's been about 5 years.
Yeah, coming up on 5 years in September, technically.
Cool. Congrats,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, congratulations. You get your
Thank you.
little, if I know the company, which I may not know, you get a little plaque with a little emblem on it, don't you? For 5 years.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not 5 years of being in business, but
Yeah,
I
Well,
did, yeah.
eventually.
So you opened up
Yeah,
in
eventually.
2016?
No. I opened up last year, actually, February 1st of last year.
Oh,
February
cool.
1st. Okay, gotcha. But you've
Yeah.
been okay, cool.
Okay,
Gotcha.
nice. So you've been in this role as the owner here for a little over a year. What was the first big thing that you attribute to starting that fire, like really getting you excited about the drive to work?
Yeah. So this agency that I bought, it was a weird situation. Never seen anything like this. At the time, I was looking for an agent. I became the sales manager where I was at. And at the time, I knew I just wanted to get out and do my own thing. There was no agencies for sale. I found this one agency. It was an hour away. I talked to my wife. I was like, we can make this happen. And the book of business was sitting. There was nobody here for well over many months. And that right there just fired me up, like just to be able to get into the door, and it had all these clients in this book of business to just create a relationship with. I think the first big win was just, I guess, introducing myself to everybody in the agency, and hearing that sign of like relief that there's somebody actually on the other end, and not just I guess a computer or a call center. And then from there, I just focused on growth and seeing team members hit milestones before I ever did. Like when I started, really just fired me up. And what's crazy is I had never been on a Zoom in my life ever up until this point. My second month, so it would have been March of last year, I got asked by the market leader, if I would speak to, I think all of Indiana and Kentucky agents on how I hit 100 items. And I'm like, yeah, sure. And, I didn't realize how many people were actually going to be on this call. When I got on this call, I was real intimidated, but it just kind of flowed. And once I saw that, it's still tough to hit that kind of milestone. It's something, I don't know. I just lit up from there. It just like, I was like, I know we can do this. We can keep going. We can keep going. And seeing the team members hit their milestones quicker than I ever did. Like, I don't know. That's just watching other people win really fired me up in the beginning.
I love that. I think when you have that sales element, I mean, I gravitate to that too. And man, it took me a lot longer than that to figure it out. It took me like over a year, or it took me by the end of the first year. No, it was over a year at that point. So it took me over a year to figure out the whole sales thing. And then when you go from not being able to sell hardly anything, I mean, you could work from morning to sunrise to sunset and not really sell anything. And then going from that to like actually starting to sell, and I think knowing why you're selling, how you're selling, and then imparting that on team members it's addicting, man. It really is.
It's very addicting. And I've been selling stuff my whole life, and insurance, there's nothing like it. people
Yeah.
think you guys probably can relate to this. People probably called you weird or crazy at some point in your life or in your career. And when I talk to people about insurance, I'm like, you guys, you just don't understand. Like,
Yeah.
there's something about what we do that it's just addicting. It really is.
It is. It's funny because I love marketing, and with traditional marketing, or direct marketing or whatever, you're always tapping into desire. And the thing that we're selling, no one desires. So you're like, you don't get that element. Now we're talking about like relationship building and like all these other things to get someone to move closer to that thing. So it's very unique. And it's tough. And if you're good at selling insurance, man, you could be good at selling just about anything.
And to top it off, there's nothing tangible, right? So they don't want it, and it doesn't exist, and it's just.
But they gotta have
everybody, and they gotta have it, and they've been told it's a commodity. So we have like everything stacked against us.
In the beginning, I got like I guess before I started selling insurance, I consider myself a decent salesperson. In the beginning, we were doing a lot like all life transfers. And I remember the agency owner, he was like he didn't really know he didn't know what they were. Like he's never heard of them. Like we started day one together. He had no experience and we just kind of hit the ground running. And all I knew was I just had to take this transfer, be the first person to pick it up. And it's all about persuading. You find out, that you do the asset calculator at the time is what we had, little sheet of green paper, write down certain things. And that's how I taught myself. And it just, once I, found out what they were looking for and needing and reminded myself what we were on the phone for, it was all about persuasion at that point. And that's why I was so good at one call closes. So
I love it.
I think that is what kind of elevated me in the very beginning, was knowing that one call close.
Yeah, those are fun. I mean, that's a fun game to play, is like, trying to get those. Right. They're so difficult, dude. So tell us, how is your right now, describe your team and like the roles in the agency right now.
Yep. So it's changed a lot. I'm a student of the game. I pay attention to guys like you, guys a lot older than all of us. And
not older than Craig, though, because I don't think that.
No, nobody is. I'm the oldest man on earth.
So I've got, obviously myself, I've got one CSR, which I just replaced. She happens to be my little sister. And
that's awesome.
She is absolutely crushing it. I feel like she doesn't believe me when I say it, but she truly is. So that makes me really happy. So I've got her, my wife, sales manager, and I've got 2 LSPs.
Cool.
Producers. Yeah. And then I've got obviously EFS, but
wow,
that's awesome.
So when I started, I thought I had to have all these outside pieces to the puzzle. I had like a marketing dude, like an assistant, and all, like, didn't need any of that. Like, I kind of figured out that I could do what I'm doing without pieces. Like, I was too small and too new at that point.
So
right.
And you truly have a family business, right? Like,
that's how I was raised.
That's
how I was raised. Yeah. I was raised in a small family business. I always tell my wife, and she just tells me to shut up. I always tell my wife.
That's normal.
Yeah. I always tell my wife I picked up a broom when I was 5, and that was my first job.
Nice.
And I haven't stopped working since. But no, I grew up in a small family business and was kind of raised around, how it's done. And I don't know. I always knew that that's kind of how it would be at whatever business I was going to have. But
that's super cool. What did your family do?
Yeah, they're one of 3 in the nation still. They build clutches and drive shafts, and
cool.
They had big clients like Jay Leno and other race car drivers. But basically, they've been doing it since 1964, Fort Wayne, Indiana. and had multiple locations around the country. And it just inspired me as a kid, watching how successful they made that business. And yeah, it just inspired me and I guess taught me a lot of principles about entrepreneurship and, the ups and downs and stuff like that.
Yeah. And for anybody under 30 that's listening, a clutch is actually a third pedal in the car that you push down in order to change gears. Just a little,
Right.
Google it. I think it comes up on the Google. Yeah.
Nowadays the cars they got the paddle shifters and the electronic clutches.
You don't even need,
Yep.
You don't even
shifts
need
with-
anything.
that just takes all the fun out of it.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Man,
So
I learned how to drive on my mom's. My mom had an 85 BMW 325, and that thing had a clutch, and you had to press it like you were like you had to grip in the car and like press it as hard as you could. It was brutal, but it made me appreciate the automatic. That's for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I had several cars that were stick. It was the best. I loved it.
Well, didn't you have a steam engine when you first started?
It was coal. Yeah. Coal and steam.
Cool.
Wait, how old are you?
473.
He looks
But
good
who's
for his
counting?
age.
Yeah, I look great. That's the only way I can
Yeah.
look great for my age. So your agency brings the whole notion of culture in a different light, because
Oh yeah.
we normally say, how did you build the culture, or ask, how did you build the culture in your agency and incorporate that? But how do you maintain the culture with your wife and your sister there? Like, can it get a little
Yeah.
challenging?
Oh yeah, for sure. Now, like I said, in the past year, a lot of things have changed at the agency. It wasn't always, just family. It was just me and my wife. I've had the producers come and go, but having my sister here now, I think it's kind of, it's honestly helped a lot. There's any family business, there's going to be arguments, there's going to be challenging times and stuff like that. But, one thing I made pretty clear when we were opening was culture is everything to me. If culture is bad, it's not good for business. I'm always monitoring the culture, making sure people are in good moods when they walk in. If you're not in a good mood, there's no sense in being here,
Right.
because it's gonna bring everybody else down. Shooting hoops, I got a basketball hoop in here. Like, I think that's just it's just setting the tone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we've kind of gotten off that lately, but just doing different things like that, I think makes everybody a little bit happier.
So how many times have you had to send your wife home because she wasn't in a good mood?
I'm gonna say
Probably like 5.
Uh-huh.
Oh wow, that could have gone well.
No, I don't think I've had to send her home.
She sent you home.
Yeah, I think she
Yeah,
sent
there
me
you go.
home. I think she sent me home quite a bit.
We know who the boss is.
Oh yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
That's awesome. How do you recruit? Are you currently recruiting? How have you done in the past? And
Yeah, so I get a lot of crap for this from other agents. I feel like, they're like, how do you do it? Like, how do you find these people? Like, I've never hired a company. Like, I've looked into it. I've talked to them, all the companies that you guys have talked to. I believe in them. I don't believe in the price.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys do or not. I don't know. But to me, I know I'm a headhunter. I can find those people on my own. I know how to make the ads. I know how to take the time out. I get, you're taking your time out of running the agency to find people. I get that part, but I'm too small to, spend money on stuff like that, I feel like. So I just do it on my own time at night, and found everybody from Indeed.
nice.
Yeah.
Well, you have a
Yes.
different skill set also than
Right,
I would
everybody's
say the
different.
average person. So
Right.
for you, it probably takes a lot less time, where I know when I first started hiring, there's so much guesswork too involved that I wasn't
What year did you start the agency?
I'm still horrible. Like I assume everybody's awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not a good
They're
hunter.
like, I don't really want it. I'm like, no, you can do it. You're gonna be great. Don't worry about it. Like,
I think that's just natural. You know what I mean? in any
Yeah.
business. It's natural because I think I'm just now getting over that. Last year, I mean, I would get people in an interview sitting across from me, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like,
Yeah.
how do I get this person out of my office? Like, they walked in, and I already knew that it was a wrong invite.
That's
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, you're
the whole
only-
time you're thinking, how do I get out of this hour?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, this was a great interview. It just started. Yeah, no, I got it. I got your resume.
Yeah.
If that happened to me, I would start saying, hey, we run the first interview real quick. So we're going to be together for about 10 minutes. I'm just going to ask a couple questions just to get that first one knocked out. And then
Just to get you out of here.
just to get you out of here.
But no, there was one month, actually it was like 1 week, last July, I was desperate. Like, I needed people. I just had to let go of one of my producers. I was down to just my wife and my main guy keeping inside of my office. And I got 32 resumes in a week from Indeed.
Wow.
32. I couldn't believe it. Like,
Yeah.
couldn't believe it. I think 2 showed.
And you're thinking, if I don't get somebody on, I'm going to have to talk to my wife all day.
Yeah, and I'll be honest. That little stretch between July and really December-ish of last year was I guess rough when it came to staffing.
Yeah.
I was so picky. Because culture is everything. I already had people in here last year that threw off the culture, and that throws off the momentum.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a defining moment too at our agency where I hired a bunch of people quickly and it went awry. And it was like, once that happened and I saw how like the negativity and everything spread so quickly. And then it's just like
It's a cancer.
everyone,
Yeah.
dude, it's the worst. I didn't even
Oh,
want to
God,
show up
yes.
to work. Like,
No,
oh my
yeah,
God.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I remember as a producer, before I owned the agency, there was many days I didn't want to show up to work. And I love work. I love work.
Right.
And it's like, I don't want to be around that person. Like,
Right.
it just kills everything.
Like the spin on it, the positive side is when culture is strong and really, really positive, it makes people want to come in. Like they're excited to go, right?
But have you
those
ever
that are
had
like,
that? Yeah. Have you ever had that time, like that feeling where you're like, is it too good to be true? Is it, because it's like things are going so well. I know you guys have had that, and it's like, how do I keep that going? You know what I mean? And then now I'm up all night. I'm thinking, yeah, right. I'm up all night. I'm not sleeping. I'm just trying to think of how to get to the next level, how to, make sure everyone's happy. And I like what, I forget the guy you guys interviewed on the last podcast I listened to. I really like what he said about employee time off and stuff like that, making sure people are happy. I truly live by that.
Yeah.
Truly. You hit what's expected, take a couple of days off, go golf, go do what you need to do to clear your mind, because we're all human. Yeah,
Yep.
it's huge.
Was it Eric Merrick? Chris Merrick?
I think he was in Alaska.
Yeah, Chris.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah,
dude.
that was great.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's amazing that they're in Alaska and able. Yeah, I never even thought there was that many people in Alaska. That's awesome.
apparently there are. I thought it was more bears than people, but there's a lot of people there. Hey, what are you still doing here?
Well, while you're still here and while it's fresh in your mind, check out live.teledudes.com.
Yeah, if you weren't listening before, we took notes from over 100 interviews with top agents from around the country and made it into a live webcast.
Using these strategies did help Craig and I write over $10 million in premium in the last couple years.
And let me tell you, on this call, you'll receive the exact blueprint to get the very same results.
Again, that's live.teledudes.com to register for this upcoming Tuesday's live call with us.
And if you jump on with us, we are certain 2022 will be an absolutely fantastic year for you.
See you there.